As far as I know, many successful roasters, coffee brands in China, they all have Melbourne backgrounds or Sydney backgrounds.
Is that
That's true.
is that's in
In,
neighborhood kind of cafes in China?
no, in terms of whole like national business,
Right.
roasting, wholesale. Yeah, yeah. They of course they have open some local shops, local cafes, and
Hmm.
you can see from people's feedback online, they feel, oh, this kind of cafe is different from others. It's natural, it's friendly. Yeah, feels like your canteen, and then the baristas are like your friends. Uh, we, you can be long-term pals, and where you want to go, you want to support them, and not the chain shops. Even though it's more expensive to go to local cafes nowadays because the chains are too cheap.
This episode is proudly brought to you by Mapper Forward's workshop. It's time to become a coffee consultant. Learn how to diversify your revenue streams and create freedom from your day job while saying goodbye to that alarm clock forever by becoming a consultant within the coffee industry or directly to consumers who have shifted towards home brewing and home roasting. Protect your income from challenging times in the coffee value chain by taking this course today. Go to mapperforward.coffee/workshops or click the link in the show notes for details. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is episode 4 of a 5-part series with David Yan. David, we are talking about the coffee scene in China. And you, as we have said before,
How you
started
going?
off. There you go. Was that your little indication that you come from the Australian coffee
Yeah,
industry there?
straight away.
Straight away.
Yeah.
Actually, before we get started, I do want to say something to anyone who's listening to this that was at World of Coffee Busan. So folks from Saudi, there were so many people from Saudi that
Mm.
were massively a crowd of Saudi coffee professionals. There were a lot of people from Australia. There were so many people from around the world, but the majority of people that came were from Saudi Arabia, from what I saw. So big shout out to everyone that stopped and said hello to us. Like David and I were talking a lot during it. Tell me, David.
Yeah. It's my first time to know that Saudi grows coffee.
Right. And the Saudi team did such an amazing job letting everybody know what they were doing. Yeah. So shout out to everyone who came from Saudi and from Colombia. Shout out to the CoffeeNet team, the
Yeah.
Panamanian folks. There was,
Congratulations to Indonesia, who just won World Barista Champion.
yeah,
First time
congratulations.
Southeast Asia. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well done.
well done. So, yeah, there was a lot that happened. It was a really great show. Shout out to the people who came from the Emirates as well. Lots and Australia. There was a lot of really great folks that were around. So I just wanted to make sure that we said that while we're in Busan.
Mhm.
And you saying how's it going? Just reminded me of that because, folks, how's it going is something that Australians say, and and not many people understand what we're saying when we say that. So, David, being raised in the coffee industry in Australia as a coffee professional, and then going back to China, you must have experienced a number of cultural differences in the coffee
Yeah.
culture in Australia and the coffee culture in China. And we witnessed that in the coffee cultures that were represented at World of Coffee Busan. I definitely saw, even in the cafes that I've gone to here, it is such a different coffee drinking culture here in Korea. So,
Mm.
what are the cultural differences that you witness in the coffee scenes?
Okay. Firstly, in China, you won't have baristas say how you going to you. Yeah.
Really?
Even in Chinese way, we don't see that in Korea either. In every
No,
cafes here,
I can't get people to
people
smile at me here.
baristas just smile and be very polite to you, over polite to you. And that's what I wasn't like used to when I came back, because I was in Australia. We were so used to
Friendly.
being friendly. Be friends to your customers. Be
Yeah.
genuine. Be authentic. Like be mates to
Yep.
them. Yeah, and to your baristas,
Yep.
to your colleagues, to your managers as well.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone is. That comes to the social or cultural parts of this. Um, uh,
Discussion.
that's yeah. Australia is a more equal society. Yeah,
Okay.
there is no hierarchies, but in East Asia, yeah, people have states and hierarchies. Yeah.
Right.
Some, for instance, why they are shy or they're not afraid to greet customers in a very friendly way. They're worried they might offend some senior people. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Doesn't matter age or like your position. Yeah. So they are shy and they not confident to start a conversation with the customer stand in front of you.
Right.
Yeah, that's like a cultural thing. Yeah, difference.
Wow.
Yeah, and other there are many differences, but also the differences uh, are disappearing at the same time because there are more and more uh, overseas background people who go back to China to do that business and bring the friendly manner, bring the friendly culture to their coffee companies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As far as I know, many successful roasters, coffee brands in China, they all have Melbourne backgrounds or Sydney backgrounds.
Is that
That's true.
that's in
In-
neighborhood kind of cafes in China?
No, in terms of whole like national business,
Right.
roasting, wholesale. Yeah. Yeah. They, of course, they have open some local shops, local cafes, and
Mhm.
you can see from people's feedback online, they feel, oh, this kind of cafe is different from others. It's natural, it's friendly. Yeah, feels like your canteen, and then the baristas are like your friends. You can, uh, we, you can be long-term pals. And where you want to go, you want to support them, and not like the chain shops. Even though it's more expensive to go to local cafes nowadays because the chains are too cheap. Yeah,
And
it is cheap.
so people you came to Dubai, right? And you went
Yes, yeah.
to cafes in Dubai. What would you say is the difference between a cafe? Have you traveled to the US and
No,
no?
actually not.
Okay. What about so in a cafe in Dubai? You've got for those who haven't been, all the cafes in Dubai are just beautiful. Like the
Yeah,
standard is
yeah. Very fancy, very nicely decorated. Yeah, and like renovated. And Dubai what surprised me more is from last year's trip. Dubai, I think in average they drink as much as Australia, and they drink till quite late. Many cafes I see there like business time is like 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. something or 12
yeah.
a.m., which
But
is
you
not
know why that
happening.
is, right?
No, many cafes in Dubai, more outside,
Right.
even some suburbs.
Right.
Yeah,
And this is a real cultural thing. So this is a kind of leans really heavily into our discussion. Because it's a Muslim country, there's alcohol all over Dubai. It's not difficult for you at all, and it's not taboo at all if you're an expat to go and be able to drink wine or drink whatever you want, pretty much any time of the day. That's not a problem. But for people who are Muslim, that's not how they socialize. The
hmm
way that they socialize is in cafes. So if they want to meet up with their friends and grab coffee, so if they want to meet up with their friends and have conversations, or you know, mostly when we were kids, when we wanted to meet other people our age, or if we wanted to, go out or whatever it was, we went to nightclubs and we went to parties and we did that kind of thing. Well, in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, in the UAE, they go to cafes. The same thing in Saudi Arabia. And That's why these spaces are so beautiful, is
Yeah.
because this is where
Also,
all the
they
socializing
um
happens.
also they love coffee. Are passionate about coffee. Say in the World of Coffee exhibition last year, like people would stay till 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. and they wouldn't go. It's still full.
Right,
People still having conversations, trying different coffees. Like, but in other countries, people will leave like 5 to 5:30 something. But
right.
in there, people were staying and discussing about all different types of coffee business, and they trying different coffees, and people were crazily buying coffee like brewing equipment, and they were trying like coffees from different origins, different varieties from different brands. Yeah, I met with producers in Africa, in Rwanda, last year, thanks to
Hmm.
World of Coffee, and we bought 4 containers of their
Yeah, that's
coffee
awesome.
because we met the exporter there. Otherwise, we wouldn't know
Yeah.
they were there. Yeah, and yeah, it just surprised me that Dubai has very multinational, multicultural backgrounds, people who work and who go to do business there and to make
Mhm.
friends and to communicate. Yeah, it's more
It's a hub.
um, yeah, it's more open than I imagined as a Islamic country.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's very similar to, it's like a convergence of Australia and America, um, in the vibe that it's got, in the in a much more kind of organized way. It's a
Yes. Yeah.
very beautifully organized culture over there. And I'm biased, I live there, but see, our culture for drinking coffee over there is, it caters to the expat, which usually drinks coffee earlier in the day, and it caters to the Emirati, who drinks coffee until 1 a.m., where they're doing their socializing. In China, what's it like? Are people drinking coffee just through the day? Are they drinking it
Yeah.
into the evening? They
No,
are drinking it into the evening?
they are afraid to drink coffee in the evening.
Wow.
They don't they think they can't sleep. That's why in China, um, there's in World Coffee we have a competition called World Coffee in Good Spirits,
Okay.
but it nearly has no market in China. Um, Basically, there's no coffee cocktail selling well
Right.
or in China because people they can consume alcohol, but rather not any coffee at its insides, because they would are worried they might stay up late, and they will drink tea instead in the evening, like Chinese tea
Hmm.
ceremony way. So people gather around the table, little cup sip, and to appreciate the variety, the origin in a very slow way, to have a discussion, to have a conversation with friends. Yeah,
Right.
in a
That's
more
similar
slow way.
to the
Yeah,
way that we consume Arabic coffee.
yeah,
Tiny
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit of you drank some at here
Yeah.
at in Busan,
Hmm.
little bits, and you had it, I'm sure, at World of Coffee Dubai. Little bits of coffee to kind of as a lubricant through the conversation to keep everyone prepped up. Like every half hour, every hour through the evening, that you're
Hmm.
having a conversation.
Yeah,
Something we haven't talked about is I haven't been to
tea.
Japan, right?
Oh, okay. Mhm.
So tell me, have you been to Japan?
No, my wife studied there.
Okay. Do you know much about the Japanese market?
Mhm. About tea or coffee?
Coffee, coffee.
Coffee, yes, yes. We have many conferences in Japan. Yeah.
Right.
And China learns a lot of coffee business from Japan and Korea.
That's what I was wondering. So where is, in relation to massive coffee consuming markets like Japan, what is China like in relation to that?
Um China
Is it
similar, I would
taking
say.
cues?
Quite
Okay, great.
quite similar. Because that's the answer came just from my Korean friends who I met in the exhibition. Um she said it's weird that both China and Japan consume both coffee and tea in like big amounts and growing amounts, especially China for coffee. But Korea, they only drink coffee. There's nearly
Right.
zero
Actually,
market for
yeah.
tea. I don't know. She doesn't understand either. Can we name a tea brand in Korea? I
No.
don't think so. Yeah, or tea chain brand, but you will see cafes everywhere.
Yeah.
Downstairs, there's a milk tea shop, and that's Chinese brand.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow. And and something else I wanted to ask you is with regards to hot versus cold, is there one preference or another in China?
Coffee.
Yeah, like are people we know that there's cold brews and we know that there's iced lattes and then we know that there's like the sugary signature drinks that are usually cold. Are people preferring the cold versions of all of those drinks over hot beverages or
I think more hot because
okay.
Chinese think hot beverage is better for their stomach.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting cultural difference too, right? Like because wellness drinks are a big thing in China, aren't they?
Yes, it's becoming more and more serious and becoming a business as well. Like drinks are getting lighter and lighter in terms of flavor and also calories, and people pay extra for that.
Wow, so fascinating. So
Yeah, in past
fascinating.
3 years, something didn't exist before.
That's
Yeah,
what so
people
like a
can change
turmeric
their minds. Chinese, yeah, it's many people just don't know. Just if you don't know, just go there and see people's real life. They don't care what like about values. They change very quick and they adapt the right value, the right culture very quick.
so
Yeah.
is it because they're easily manipulated? Is it that like what's the reason for that?
We learn like what's good in other countries.
Okay.
Yeah. And we learn what's good in Japan, like what's a healthy lifestyle in Australia, in America. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chinese markets and very humble when it comes to industry. They happy to learn. Like myself, I would uh, you, I'm keen to learn how Australia faces like automation
Okay.
in the coffee industry as well. Yeah, that's an example for us.
I think Australia's going to be learning from China, but we'll see. Not the other way around. We'll see. Okay. So folks, we've got one episode to go. And we're going to be talking about the future of coffee in China. So join us for that final episode. Thank you, David.
Yep.
Peace, love, and
Okay.
peanut butter, everybody. Have an amazing rest of your day. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, friends. Please don't forget to show us some love by subscribing, liking, commenting, and most of all, sharing this podcast with your friends. Check the show notes for links, including our sponsors and our Patreon. And stay tuned for more great conversations on the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward.